Alright guys, so today we are going to go over how to create your own virtual offsite file storage. First thing that we need to do is we need to get a place to host it offsite. There's a website, OVH Cloud. You want to come over here, click on virtual private servers. You'll notice they have servers of different sizes. You have the first one, 40 gigs, 80 gigs, 120 gigs. And if you scroll down, you'll actually see that there's a 20 gig option for $350 a month. So we're going to go ahead and order that. Once we do that, we need to wait for it to load. And we'll verify our selection. Now, the first selection, the starter selection, will not be here if you do not select it from the home page. Once we do that, you'll have two options, distribution or distribution only. We want to select the first option, distribution only. And then we have a couple of choices. We want to select Ubuntu, and we want version 20.04 because that's their long-term support version for their server. And then we want to pick a location. Now we can host it at multiple locations, and you can actually purchase additional storage for $570 a month for 50 gigs, $1130 a month for 100 gigs, $17 a month for 200 gigs, or $33.90 a month, 500 gigs. All these prices are in US dollars, so adjust accordingly if you use a different form of payment, the euro, the pound, whatever. And then we want to go down and select log on and pay. Now I already have an account, so I'm going to just switch over and log into my account. But once you select that, you'll just put in your information, and then you'll be bumped back to the dashboard, and this is what you'll get after you enter your login information. You'll get this page coming up here, and you will get an email with your username and password for the server. The username will correspond to the type of server that you select. You can select either the bottom option that I just selected to get to the information regarding your server, or you can select the top option, which I'll go back to and show you that here in just a moment. There are really only a few important things on the server page that you'll need to know for performing this operation. That's the email with the password. So it does take a few minutes to get it, but not long at all. You'll be set up in less than 15 minutes. There's our operating system distribution, and then the IPv4 address, which I'll go to here, is the important thing. You want to go ahead and copy that address. Once the address is copied, excuse me, you want to download a program called Putty. Oh, excuse me, you can also order additional disk space here as well after you purchase the server. More configuration will be needed than what we're going to go over in this video in order to add those disks to your online storage. But we want to go ahead and download Putty. It's a free open source program. You just simply click here to download it. Now I already have it installed, so I don't think that we need to go over how to install a Windows program. If you need help with that, I'm sure there are plenty of videos out there. I'll kind of go through it. Basically, when this is up, you just kind of want to hit next, 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 finish. Um, and then once Putty is installed, you want to go ahead, open up your start menu, type in Putty or find it, open it up, and that IP address that we copied earlier, we want to go ahead and put in here. Okay, once we do that, we're going to select connect and then open. And we'll put in the username and password that was emailed to you. I did not show mine for security purposes. And what you can do real quick right here is actually type in sudo apt-get update space y space -y, and that will go ahead and update your server. And then you want to type in sudo install snap Nextcloud. Excuse me, sudo snap install Nextcloud. Just like that. Press enter. It's going to go through. It'll take a few seconds to set up, not long, depending upon the speed of the server that you buy. I bought the slowest one, and it goes less than 1 minute. Um, when you're at the command prompt, though, real quick, if you type in PASSWD, it will give you the option to change the given password that they gave you, so you don't have to remember that stupid long password. Now, once this is installed, you can actually go ahead and close out Putty. You'll no longer need this. Um, and what Putty is basically is it's a remote connection to the command line of your server. Once, and I'm just actually uninstalling the Nextcloud here so I can go through the installation process with you, but you can actually go ahead and close Putty. You no longer need it. Then we want to go to Google and put in the IP address into our address bar, press enter, and we're going to create an admin account. So you'll put in a username and a password to manage your cloud-based storage, and you can also provide cloud-based storage for other users as well. You'll be able to create additional users and passwords. It does take a second to finish setting up. You can uncheck that previous that checkbox in the previous thing. Next thing we want to do is download the Nextcloud client. The client is available for multiple platforms, Windows 10, Mac OS, Linux. You can also download for older versions of Mac. We have mobile versions for the Android and iPhone. And we want to download the version for Windows 10 because that's what we're using. And we just want to save that. Now I already have it installed, so I'm going to cancel the download. Meanwhile, the installation for Nextcloud is finishing up in the web browser on the previous tab, and we want to find our Nextcloud Windows installer package. Double click that. Again, we're not going to go over how to install a Windows package. Basically, just want to hit next, 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 finish. You can restart your computer and it will integrate it if you select that option into your right click commands. These are just some of the features that will be on the Nextcloud platform. Again, you don't have to install them. You can uncheck the checkbox in the beginning and it will install just the file storage. But you can check your email, your contacts, you can sync your calendar. Um, you can do talk, video calls, screen sharing with other users that have an account on your Nextcloud server. And once we install the Nextcloud program for Windows, what we want to do is just kind of come over here. You can go through and read the things that it has to offer, just basically a quick introduction to Nextcloud, and click Start using Nextcloud. At the top, you have a couple of options. Over here, a few more options. If you go into settings, you can change some of your user account settings. You can link a website, Twitter account, address, email address for account recovery. You can look at your contacts here. And if you go down to users, this is where you can create additional user accounts. The first thing you should do is create a group because you do not want other people in the administrator group. So make a group called users or whatever you want, and then you can create user accounts for other users. You can set their limit, 10 gigs, 20 gigs. It's depending upon your file server size that you selected in the beginning from the OVH cloud or whatever VPS server you want to use. I like OVH cloud because it's very cheap. It does not come with a domain name, but we'll cover that in another video. And there you have it. You have a new user set up so they can log into that account via the same IP address in the address bar that we did. Now, if we go over here to files, all these files are saved offsite. They're off of your computer, they're on a server in another location. You can recover them if your computer crashes. You can share them with other users. You'll notice I dragged that file into the web browser and drop it. Once the client is finished installing, we want to right click on the program in the taskbar, and then on the top left hand side we want to click and hit add new user. We'll put in that IP address again right here. We'll get a little warning and we want to select the middle option. Once we do so, we'll be bounced to our web browser to connect the account. We'll just simply hit login, and you want to type in your username and admin password that you set up earlier, or for whatever user account, if it's somebody else's user account, they'll use their username and password. Um, So now that the account is connected, we will see it in the Windows navigation bar. We'll have a folder inside of your user account folder inside of Windows 10. We want to synchronize everything from the folder. We can go through and manually choose what to sync and then hit connect. Once we do so, we will notice that the file that we dragged and dropped into the web browser earlier is now going to be in that folder. So we can go ahead and close this window. And we can close that one as well if it's still open. And there's that file that we dragged and dropped earlier. And there it goes inside the account folder on our web page. And Nextcloud 2 because this is my second installation. So if you're at a friend's house, you open up your web browser, put in the address, drag and drop a file into there. It would be on your computer when you come home. Vice versa, if you drop a file into this folder, it will automatically sync to the cloud. Inside your user account folder again is where you'll find it. You'll also find it in the navigation bar. So you'll notice that we'll drop this file into the folder and it will automatically sync. And I'm just copying it back to the desktop because I accidentally moved it instead of copying it for demonstration purposes. But you'll notice that that file, free car estimate repair, will automatically pop up into our online browser. It does take a few seconds to sync, but you can kind of speed up that process if you refresh your web page like so. Now we'll go over a few things that you can do here. You can share files. You have your documents folder. If you click this button there, sharing, that would give you, you can add tags to the file for easier searching, and we can create a share link. We can create multiple share links if we want to share with multiple people um, or for whatever reason. And that share link, if we put into the address bar, will be prompted to download that file. So you can put a file onto your cloud, create a share link, send it to people. They can download it directly. If the file is supported, they can open the file directly in the web browser, or they can click download in the top right hand corner or in the center of the screen if it's not supported. We go back to the dashboard and you'll see, upcoming events. If you got your calendar, you can sync your email, set a status so other people that you would talk with or chat with through this program can see what your status is. You can sync your calendar so that way people can see your appointments. They can add events to it or see if you have something scheduled for that time. You can go through notifications. You can search your files, apps, circles, comments, whatever. There's the free car estimate repair file. We click on that. We'll jump straight to that and get prompted for a download. Now we can open up PDFs in this program just by simply clicking on it or sharing it and sending a link, and then they'll automatically open it up. This is basically information about the Nextcloud. We'll go over other installations and FTPs and other videos. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thanks for checking it out and enjoy your own personal private server.